Hello and welcome to this week's Glasstire Top 5. It is the week of February 27th, 2020. I'm Brandon Zech, and we are here with a special guest.
Hi, my name is Leslie Moody Castro. I am a curator and a writer based in both Austin and Mexico City, but more generally the state of Texas.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
You travel a lot. We're gonna get to that in all of these picks. These picks are all across Texas, of course. And you also write for us, and we're so happy to have you here on the Top 5.
Thanks for inviting me.
So we're gonna jump straight in with number 5, which is at K-Space Contemporary in Corpus Christi.
Yay, Corpus! We love the beach. More importantly, we also love Falana Oliphant and James Pace. Now, to be clear, this is two separate shows by husband and wife duo Falana and James. Falana's exhibition is titled Wingload, and James's exhibition is titled Tomorrow Crossing the River.
And so both of these artists, they're based in Tyler, Texas, East Texas, and their work really kind of has a kinship. Of course, it's very different. They have their own practices, but each of their work is really kind of about assemblage and a little bit about materials.
Very
also.
much about materials. There's a lot of materiality in their work in general, and that makes a lot of sense because they share a giant, beautiful studio in Tyler on their property. So they're constantly in dialogue with each other in general. But I think one of the really remarkable things about them as well is how important they are to their community in Tyler. They really have become cornerstones of mentorship both at UT Tyler and Tyler Junior College. And it's been really amazing to see how they've mentored younger artists and generations in their small town, essentially.
Yeah. And that's going to be up at K-Space Contemporary through February 28th. So this is the final week, the final weekend. And if you haven't had a chance, go down to Corpus.
And go to the beach, too. So number 4 is a solo exhibition by an artist named Anne Ricci, titled Intelligence Data Collection, which is up at the Art Gallery at Collin College in Plano, Texas.
So Plano is one of the suburbs of the DFW Metroplex, and a lot of these suburbs and some within the city have these community colleges, these junior colleges, these spaces that do really good shows. Anne Ricci, she, the show is based on data collection and technology, and the kind of centerpiece of it is this huge Faraday cage.
Yeah, well, and Anne just generally works a lot with like surveillance and issues surrounding surveillance and how surveillance has become more and more an issue in our sort of general language of life. She's also been doing a lot of residencies, traveling a lot, and writing a lot. And so it's really exciting to see that she's pulled all of this together in a solo exhibition.
And that is going to be up through March 18th in Plano.
So go to Plano.
Number 3 is here.
Here
We're
we
here
are.
at the Visual Arts Center, the VAC at UT Austin. So this is a show, we're standing in front of a piece, a big new installation, pseudo artist in residence program, new commission.
Yeah, site-specific commission, all of those things.
By Carmen Rodriguez. And the piece, the show is called Me at Market. And you're actually working on an interview right now with Carmen Rodriguez for Glasstire.
Yes, I am. No pressure, no pressure. But I actually met Carmen a few months back in Guadalajara when she was in Guadalajara for a residency with Taller de los Guayabos, and I wrote about it a little bit for Glasstire as well. So it was really great to see her come to Austin, and it was really great to have her in Austin as well. So she's based mostly in Los Angeles, but her practice is really a really interesting and poetic one. She's very responsive to space and issues of space. She does a lot of sort of wandering around the cities that she travels in or is invited to, and then whatever projects she produces out of those sort of wanderings is very, very specific to the language of where she's at. So it's really cool to see how she reacted and responded to the space of the large vaulted gallery of the Visual Arts Center.
The market aspect kind of is
right.
double,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit about the art market, but
Yeah.
I mean, I also really see when I look at this piece, it's a lot of natural materials. So things that you would find in a market like wine or cochineal.
Cochineal, fruits, coffee. So the title actually comes from her wandering around a neighborhood in Los Angeles. And on the side of the building, it said, Me at Market. And so she pulled the title from that. And it's about, her positioning herself within the art world and the art market in general and constantly sort of being in opposition to it, but needing to work within it.
That's the artist struggle.
That's
everyone's struggle,
amongst
but
many struggles of the artist's life.
And this show is going to be up through March 6th.
So I'll get that interview done.
Yeah. Number 2 this week is at the Moody Center for the Arts in Houston on Rice University's campus. And bear with me, it has a title. It's Radical Revisionists, Contemporary African Artists Confronting Past and Present. It's all dealing with colonialism and the image of Blackness in America and in Europe, and just how all of these artists are facing the issues, the long ingrained issues of racism and things that have happened in our nation's history and other histories. I'm not sure if it's supposed to, but it actually is coinciding with the PhotoFest Biennial this year that is going to be opening soon. That's African cosmology. So there's a kinship of the shows, and it's going to fit perfectly within this narrative that's happening in Houston this spring. And number 1 this week is also here in Austin. It's at the Contemporary Austin. It's a show of works by Nicole Eisenmann. So Nicole Eisenmann was awarded the second Suzanne Del Booth Flag Art Foundation Prize. So this was a big art prize that was given to Nicole, and it comes along with a show, both here in Austin and at the Flag Art Foundation in New York. The show includes, it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of a retrospective. It's not quite a retrospective. It includes her paintings, her sculptures. The entire downstairs part of the show is her big sculptural installation from the Whitney Biennial, which is like a processional.
It was really cool to see those sculptures in the space of the contemporary, because they're not absorbing the space, they're not cramped in the space, like they work really well in the space.
And I saw them at the Whitney, and anything on the terraces of the Whitney just gets lost in the New York skyline, no matter how good the art is. So it's interesting to see them in a different context.
Yeah.
But then upstairs, and a little bit downstairs, but upstairs mostly, it's her paintings.
Which is actually my favorite part of the show. I just really loved them because they were so honest. Mm-hmm. And so it was just really nice to be surrounded by them in that space, especially after coming up from the sort of sculpture room downstairs and moving up that giant staircase. It was really nice. Yeah.
You need to see the paintings to understand why the sculptures are the way they are. Also, the paintings have this kinetic energy.
Yeah, they do.
Almost even more so sometimes than the sculptures.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement that happens between them, but they just worked so well with the sculptures and with the space. I was really impressed by that show.
It opened yesterday. It's on view now. And also tonight there's going to be a conversation between Nicole Eisenmann and a critic curator. Also, the chance to hear Nicole Eisenmann speak is kind of rare, actually. So that's a program that's worth it. And before we end, we do have 2 quick things we're throwing in. We're
breaking
cheating.
the rules.
We're cheating a little bit. The first one is at Rice Media Center at Rice University's campus. It's a screening of films by Stan Vanderbeek. So he was an important figure in the expanded cinema movement. This is a little bit in celebration of the Rice Media Center's 50th anniversary, also a little bit of its swan song. You can read about that more on Glasstire. It's going to be worth it. It's on Saturday, the 29th. You should go see it.
And then my number 7 of 5
one of those
is at Collab Projects, also in Austin. It is the last week to catch Circular Score, which is a collaborative project that was done by 4 grad students from UT Austin. It's a multi-channel video with a rotating platform in the center that you can actually stand on and interact with. And so it's a really cool way to see these videos and see the artist process and how they worked together. So we've put together a really, really nice road trip for people.
Yeah.
Corpus,
that would not be.
Houston, Austin, Plano.
Yeah.
I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. There's your week.
Yeah. And you should get out there and go see some art.
Go see some art.